Vanakkam. I'm Vayoni Dimel. This is Boston Lanka News, bringing you news, views, and entertainment from Boston and USA. Put the past behind. Time to move on, building better relations with the USA, says Bhante Piyananda. Minister Mervyn Silva threatened the Sri Lankan journalists again. Power of true love. Love story of a disabled Sri Lankan soldier. Sri Lankan government's lack of diplomacy resulted the humiliating defeat at the UN, says UNP MP John Amaratunga. Sri Lanka must do more for reconciliation, says world elders. President Obama nominates a new ambassador to Sri Lanka. Bhante Piyananda, Chief Sanganayaka of America and President of Dhamma Vijay Buddhist Vihara in Los Angeles, recently wrote an open letter to the US President Barack Obama about the US-sponsored UNHCR resolution that received wide media coverage. Bhante Piyananda, in your open letter to President Obama, you have pointed out the double standards of USA towards Sri Lanka. On one hand, applaud defeating the terrorism, on the other hand, being influenced by backers of LTTE. Now that the resolution has been passed, do you have anything to say to the Obama administration?
Yes, I know, but I said, we have to appreciate that. Also, thanks to American governments, then former two presidents, President Bill Clinton, President George Bush, both of them are very well helped Sri Lanka to eradicate terrorism. Also, both of them condemn as the law here, of course Obama too, as terrorists against terrorism. So as a result of American support and help, Sri Lanka could destroy terrorism. So we have to thank and admire to American government and American people for that. Again, I have a message to Obama administration. Even though our what's called NLRC report came last December, we have to have a time to act. We know even here, of course, Obama administration tried to help poor people. Here, he got a health care system. What happened? Even today, over 2 years, he still could not act. Just go to now, but even the High Court, those other things happening. This is a democratic way, sometimes very hard. Therefore, we have to have a patience. You see, in Sri Lanka right now, in 30 years war, therefore, innocent Tamil young people could not learn properly yet. Last month, 460 people joined the police, young people. Also, many soldiers, childhood soldiers who were LTT cadres, now rehabilitated, hand over to parents. They also go to schools. They got a job. They are enjoying their life. I think our Obama administration, some of them more listen to some of media, so-called diaspora, LTT diaspora people. Please, it is okay to listen democratic way. Please go to Sri Lanka, look at your own eyes, see the things, and help the country to make more and more unite and harmony. That's my invitation to our Obama's government.
In that open letter, you talk about more than 150 years long cordial relations between Sri Lanka and America. What do you have to say to the Sri Lankan government, especially those who want to boycott US products?
That is a foolish thing they try to do, because America is the greatest country, also very generous country. When we had a tsunami time, America helped greatly for us. Whenever we have a trouble, American government, especially American people, help us many ways. Therefore, we have to show our gratitude towards the United States. Same time, we have to understand America, we have a great long history. In Sri Lanka, we enjoy everything because of the greatest American hero, Colonel Walker. If he did not come to Sri Lanka 1879, we could not get freedom to study very well. We could not get a school like Ananda, Nalanda, Mahinda, like that greatest Buddhist school. We could not get it, or Colonel Walker, greatest American hero, did not go to Sri Lanka. So, same time, many time when we have a trouble, Sri Lanka help. I remember even Nixon, our president in American, former Prime Minister Nixon time, when our Mrs. Bandanayake came to here, Nixon gave a lot of aid to Sri Lanka at that time too. So our ties and relationship create many ways: culturally, religious way, education way, economic way. We have a lot of good relationship, America and Sri Lanka. Therefore, government, both sides, government comes and go, but people, as a people, both countries, we have to work together.
Minister of Public Relations Mervyn Silva warned that he will break the limbs of some journalists who have gone abroad and made various statements against the country if they dare to set foot in the country. He specifically named the journalists.
නමුත් මම කනගාටු වෙනවා අපේ රටේ පැකෙනවල කපාපු පාරය සුනන්ද දේශප්‍රියලා නිමාක ෆර්නෑන්ඩුලා තව එකෙක් ඉන්නවා පාක්‍ය ශෝති මුන් තමයි දිනේව ගිහිල්ලා මේ රටට විරුද්ධව උන් තමයි සාක්ෂි දුන්නේ ප්‍රසිද්ධිය කියන්නේ මේක දාන්න තොපි මට අහුවෙන්න ලංකාවේ හිටියොත් තොපේ අතපය ප්‍රසිද්ධිය කඩන එක තමයි මර්වින් සිල්වා කියන්නේ වගකීමක් ඇතුව කියන්නේ.
In addition to this threat, he made a public confession.
පොත්තල ජාන්දේ කියන කවුරු ලංකාවේ මම එළව්වේ අද ප්‍රසිද්ධිය කියන්නේ උන්ගේ මන්නිසා.
Minister Mervyn Silva said, "I'm the one who chased one of those journalists, Poddala Jayantha, out of this country." Poddala Jayantha fled the country in late 2009 after being severely beaten up. Minister Silva made this statement at a demonstration in Kiribati to protest the UNHRC resolution against Sri Lanka. Signifying the power of true love, a 23-year-old disabled Sri Lankan army soldier who had lost both his eyesight and right arm in the war tied the knot with his 18-year-old fiancée at the Abhimansala Ranaviru resort in Anuradhapura last week. Lance Corporal Charit Kulatilaka of Mihintale was caught in the explosion of an anti-personnel mine during the last phase of the war in Kilali. He met his future wife Suvini Sewandi while travelling in a bus to Ragama to receive treatment at the Ragama Ranaviru Centre. Sewandi had realized that he was a soldier mimed by the war and asked for his contact number. Their accidental acquaintance had bloomed into a love affair later on. Charith had joined the army as a soldier of the Vijayaba Infantry Regiment on May 5, 2007. After training, he joined the final battle against terrorism. He was injured on November 18, 2008 during an operation to break forward defense lines of the LTTE in Kilali. After being injured seriously, he was airlifted to the Sri Jayawardhanapura Hospital. Though he survived after medical treatment, he could not regain his eyesight, while his right arm was also amputated. During their days as lovers, Sewandi had promised to love, cherish, and look after Charith right throughout her life. And in return, besides all the handicaps, Charith possesses a pure heart that can pour out true love and affection to Sewandi right through his life. A philanthropist from the area who attended the wedding offered to build a house for the new couple. The government could have either worked with the UNSG Ban Ki-moon commissioned inquiry into allegations against the security forces and the LTTE, or implemented its very own LLRC recommendations with a sense of urgency, but it did neither, which led to the country being humiliated at the UNHRC last week, said UNP MP John Amaratunga. Amaratunga said the Rajapaksa regime obviously believed that it could hoodwink the international community as it did with its plethora of broken promises to the Sri Lankan public, but has learned the hard way that you cannot fool all the people all the time. The Elders group of world leaders formed by Nelson Mandela has urged Sri Lanka to try and avoid another showdown in the UN Human Rights Council by adhering to the recent resolution adopted by the body. According to former UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Mary Robinson, the elders are very pleased that UNHRC adopted a resolution urging Sri Lanka to ensure a proper reconciliation process after decades of a brutal conflict. It is advisable for Sri Lanka, she said, to adhere to the resolution in order not to come under the radars of UNHRC once again next year, stressing that it is the responsibility of the government of any country to protect civilians, though LTT is also responsible for gross human rights violations. US President Barack Obama this week nominated Michelle Sisson to be ambassador to Sri Lanka. Ambassador Michelle J. Sisson, a career member of the Senior Foreign Service with the rank of Minister Counselor, is currently the Assistant Chief of Mission for Law Enforcement and Rule of Law Assistance in Baghdad, Iraq. From 2008 to 2010, she was Ambassador to the Republic of Lebanon. She was Ambassador to the United Arab Emirates from 2004 to 2008 and Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary in the Bureau of South Asian Affairs from 2002 to 2004. Ambassador Sisson received a BA from Wellesley College, Massachusetts. On a program note, it is with great pleasure that we welcome a new member to our Boston Lanka News team. As part of our efforts to expand the Boston Lanka Media Network, we will begin a new program focusing not only Sri Lanka, but the whole South Asian region. Today we have Esther with us. She's going to be our new member of our news team. Esther, welcome to Boston Lanka.
Vayoni, it is a great pleasure. Thank you so much for letting me be here.
I would like to ask you a little bit about your experience in this field, because I'm sure our viewers would like to hear about that.
Well, I've been a journalist for about 15 years, mostly in television. I worked in an ABC affiliate in Michigan, in Vermont, a little bit of time in New Hampshire and Massachusetts. And I spent 6 years in North Carolina working for the public television affiliate there, UNC TV. And in that capacity, I had the great privilege and pleasure of co-hosting a 1-hour political show every week, and also being really part of the political, covering the politics of North Carolina. I've had the great privilege of interviewing people like Jimmy Carter, Elizabeth Dole, some writers like Mitch Albom, and also covering the Democratic National Convention, covering elections, hosting and moderating some debates. So it's been a really exciting time for me, but I'm very, very excited to be part of Boston Lanka now.
The name of the program that you are going to present to our viewers is SA News. Could you please tell us what you're planning to do in that program?
This is an incredible opportunity. The South Asian community is, as you know, a growing and a fascinating community. I've been to India several times for work and for pleasure, and I see a great potential to tell the Sri Lanka, obviously you do the Sri Lanka, but also Sri Lanka, India, and Pakistani, the people, the culture. I think it's incumbent on all of us to get to know those cultures because they are here. They are here in the United States. They are part of us. They are our neighbors. So I think it's really important to have a show like this to inform and introduce people to the South Asian community. This South Asian News is going to be a very exciting venture. You know, we're going to have a little bit of fun, we're going to have some entertainment and some cultural things, but I also want to do some very serious issues. I want to look at the politics, the economy, social issues, issues that affect the South Asian community in New England and also around the world. So, and you know, the most important thing is that I want to give a platform to the South Asian community, and I want to hear from them. And they, you know, they can start right now by emailing me at esther@bostonlanka.com. So I look forward to hearing from your viewers. Hopefully they'll be joining me on South Asian News.
That concludes our news edition. We meet you again with another news edition of News, Views and Entertainment from Boston and USA. Till then, goodbye.